Hi everyone, I am Barbara Galvin. I'm a registered dietitian here at the Shoprite of Parsippany and the Shoprite of West Caldwell. So today we're going to talk about milk. And just a few years ago, milk used to be really just from one or two sources, right? It used to mostly be from animals and mostly only from cows. But now, as you can see, there are quite a variety of milks on the market and in the supermarket. And we just want to talk a little bit about some of the milks that you might find here at Shoprite and some of the attributes of them so you can choose the right milk for you. So the first one we're going to just start with is cow's milk, because of course, you know, that's the traditional milk. And from a dietitian standpoint, that's the nutritional gold standard that we kind of, you know, refer back to when we're talking about some of these other milks. So it is a really, it's really a very well-balanced food source. So it has protein. In 8 ounces of milk, it has 8 grams of protein. It has calcium. It is fortified with vitamins A, with vitamin D, with riboflavin, and it also has protein. So it really is a very complete source. It has carbohydrate, which comes from lactose. That's a naturally occurring carbohydrate in milk. I call it cow sugar when I'm talking to kids. So milk is well balanced in that form. It has carbohydrate, it has protein, it has vitamins. So it is a very nutritionally complete food source. And you can choose between what types of fat content you like. If you are, you know, watching some of your fat intake, you could go with a skim milk, fat-free, or a 1%. If you like things a little bit creamier, maybe for your coffee, you can go for a 2% or a whole milk, which is actually 5% milk fat. So milk from a cow is one of the many types of milk that you can go for, but that's what we're kind of using to compare everything else. Next up is almond milk. So almond milk, of course, is a plant source. So if someone is allergic to cow's milk, then almond milk is a good choice. It also does not have any cholesterol because it is a plant. It doesn't have that lactose that we talked about because lactose is unique to dairy products. So if someone is lactose intolerant, if they have you know, a little bit of a reaction in their GI from the lactose, then they could try some almond milk. It usually is fortified with protein and some other vitamins. So if you have a fortified almond milk, you can get a decent amount of calcium and protein in that choice. Next up is our soy milk. So soy is a very valuable plant-based food, and for someone who might be allergic to nuts and to dairy, soy milk is actually a very good choice. It has high amounts of protein and it has very little carbohydrate. So if someone is looking to watch their carbohydrate for some sort of a health reason, that soy milk is actually a very good choice. And there are some flavors out there that if you don't like just the plain, there's the vanilla, there's some chocolates out there to kind of give it a little bit of a twist. So soy milk is good for someone looking for a plant-based, no lactose, no nut type of a milk. Next in our line here is coconut milk. So coconut milk is good because there's not many allergens there. If you have an intolerance to lactose, you don't have to worry. So there's no dairy, there's no soy, there's no nuts. So it's actually a good choice if someone is highly allergic or really just does not want to, you know, have any sort of dairy or nuts in their diet or in their household. So it does not have any protein, however, and coconut milk has saturated fat associated with it. So we want to just make sure that we're balancing that out with the rest of our diet and the rest of the choices that we're making to make sure that we're not overdoing it with saturated fat. One of the newest players for the market is oat milk. And oat milk, so people might ask, how do you milk an oat, right? So what they do is they soak steel cut oats or whole oats in water, in hot water, and then they squeeze it to kind of emit some of that. You know, it has a creamy consistency because oats have a lot of carbohydrate. So you get that creaminess from that carbohydrate starchy source. So it really is just the oats and the milk. The only thing that we want to watch out with oat milk is it tends to be higher in calories than some of these other milks, and there is no protein associated with oat milk, at least not now. So we want to, again, we just want to make sure if this is a choice for you and that's fabulous and you like it, that's great. But we want to just make sure that we're getting enough protein and calcium in other sources, since we're not going to be getting it from our oat milk. Just jumping back to our regular cow's milk for a moment, and we talked about that lactose, which really is the number one reason why some people shy away from regular cow's milk. But I just wanted to mention that there are some other products that use cow's milk, but they kind of address that. So one is a milk that has lactase in it. Since the lactose from the milk is giving us problems, sometimes it's because we don't have enough lactase in our body to compensate for that cow sugar. So that's kind of gives us that GI distress. So lactate adds that enzyme in. It's still cow's milk, but it has the lactase in it in order to compensate for that. Also, speaking about cow's milk, there are some other milks out on the market that actually amp up the protein. If you're looking for a higher protein milk source, something like Skim Plus actually increases the protein, adds protein in it. So instead of 8 grams for 8 ounces, it's about 11 or 12 grams for something like this that's adding some more protein. And then when it comes to protein, again with our cow's milk, there are some products that also address that GI distress from the lactose and the protein component of milk by separating out one of the proteins in milk that might give some people some GI distress. So there is this new milk on the market, new-ish, that actually addresses that by separating out that protein that might give us a little bit of distress. So again, these are some of the mainstream newer milks on the market. Of course, as you can see, there are a lot more. We have macadamia, we have banana and almond, we have rice, we have sesame seed, we have pea protein, and we have cashew. And this is just to name a few. I think this morning I looked, we had over 17 different types of milk. So if you ever have any questions about making a choice for you or your family about what type of milk you might require or enjoy, please stop into Shoprite, and myself or someone in the dairy department would be happy to help. Hope you have a great day. Thank you.